Hey, welcome back to the channel, my fellow weather junkies. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, your trusted weather source here, bringing you the weather without all that social media hype here on your Friday, April 11th, 2025. Let's go and see what we're tracking here for this upcoming weekend. Surprise, we got some northeast snows coming our way. We'll take a look at that and show you how much snow we think may fall as we go into this upcoming weekend. We're going to talk about when we think we're going to see our next big severe weather outbreak. We've got a couple areas we're going to concern for the short term, and then I got another one area to watch a little bit more into the longer term. We'll break that down for you. And then we'll talk about any potential pattern changes. Looks like we're still stuck in this pattern where we're kind of cold in the east and milder in the west, and we'll see if that's going to be sticking around with the latest from the Climate Prediction Center. So we'll take a look at that as well. Now, before we get going, first I want to say thank you to any new subscribers out there. And if you haven't yet subscribed just yet, please hit that subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted on future content. And as always, if you appreciate what you're seeing with this report, please leave me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the big picture here as we look at our satellite imagery. Here's our little upper level disturbance moving up into the mid-Atlantic. That's going to spread some heavier rains up there, heading up toward Maryland and Delaware here for later today, and a few rumbles of thunder here along the coastal areas. Pretty quiet here in the middle of the country. Maybe some little rains up toward Montana and out toward the Intermountain region. A little bit of an onshore flow here across California, heading up toward Idaho, spreading some rains there as well to begin our Friday. Now, looking at the big picture, not looking too bad out there. Got some gray. That's some of your foggy areas, little freeze warnings here. And obviously, we're still waiting for these rivers to come down after all that heavy rain they got last week. So it'll be slowly coming down the Mississippi. So things should be eventually improving there after the massive flooding they had there from those heavy storms from last week. Now, what we're seeing here on our surface map, again, we're going to be watching the northeast. You've seen some snows up there already, but we're going to have some more snows as this little disturbance kind of rides up here toward the north. Middle of the country not looking bad. It's a little chilly out here. It seems the 20s and 30s out in this region. And it'll be unseasonably cool here across the eastern third of the United States, especially going in towards Saturday. But a quick modification going into the weekend. And again, a little rain out here toward California, stretching up into portions of Idaho. Let's talk about some of this rain here up here toward Virginia and then toward North Carolina. So Durham getting a little wet here, and this will be spreading into southern portions of Virginia. This heavy rain is going to be going that way, and then we'll be watching for maybe some isolated severe thunderstorms there along the Carolina coast, stretching down toward Florida. So in fact, we'll go ahead and talk about that next. We'll look at the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, as we're going to kind of focus here on your day 1 through 4. Yeah, I've got some on day 4 to show you as well, with the potential for some severe weather going out 4 days. So let's talk about that. Let's first look at your category here, breakdown here for today. As you can see that from, again, right along the Virginia coast, coming all the way down into Florida. Couldn't rule out an isolated severe thunderstorm in those zones. This is the same system that dumped all that hail across the southeast on your Thursday. Now, the tornado threat, it's low. Got a little pocket there, as you can see right there along the Carolina coast. Maybe an isolated spin up there, but really not expecting too big a deal of that for today. The wind threat will be running about 5%, so we're talking about Jacksonville, Virginia Beach, Raleigh, Norfolk, those areas there. And that'll also be the same zones that'll see the hail threat as well, right in that same area that we highlighted for the marginal severe risk. So what about day 2? Going into your Saturday, how's that looking? Day 2, well, we do have a marginal there across portions of, say, Montana and into Wyoming, and kind of catch a little bit of South Dakota there, but not too big a deal there, which you can see that general thunderstorm threat there kind of spreading on out. And as we go to your day 3, got a couple of pockets to watch there across the Great Lakes there into back toward Iowa and over toward Colorado and Kansas. Now, as that next storm system kind of pulls out of the Great Lakes, as we go into your day 4, okay, we go into your day 4, we do have a little pocket here lighting up for potential severe weather here, going for Pittsburgh and coming back over toward Kentucky. So we're talking about Cincinnati, Louisville, Lexington, Columbus. Those areas could see an isolated severe thunderstorm as we got another little push of some cold air that'll be coming down and kind of set up a few isolated severe thunderstorms on that day, on day 4. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the heavy rain threat. Again, we got that heavy rain. You saw that kind of coming up into Virginia, kind of moving up toward the north there. So we do have that little pocket there of some heavy rain, maybe some marginalized flooding in those areas. Very localized, shouldn't be too big a deal, but that's where the heaviest rain threat's going to be here over the next few days. So your hazards outlook here, again, we're watching all these rivers to try to drain on out. There's that pocket we're talking about on day 4, and a little bit breezy out here into the plains. A couple of windy spots, but that's about it as far as your hazards outlook over the next 3 to 7 days. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. We're going to look at your forecast models, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the 500 millibar level here. We're going to be looking about the winds at about 25,000 feet. Get an idea where the jet stream's kind of flowing here and where the storm systems are. Obviously, with this configuration we're seeing right now, we've got this situation where we've got the cold air coming in here across the east. And that pattern's going to linger for a little while. We got a couple of cold shots that are coming down with this. So again, watch that timestamp there in the upper right-hand corner as you kind of see that progression there. And that moves on through. Then we got this little disturbance that's going to ride in here for Monday. So this little system here, this is what's going to be setting off that severe weather chance right through portions of Ohio and Pittsburgh. That's going in towards your Monday. So that's that disturbance there. We'll take that one out. That'll clear on out. There's another cool shot there, obviously, across the eastern third of the United States once again. And that's a shot number 2. So you got like 2 shots there back to back. Then we're going to watch this upper level low that's going to finally spin on here off the coast. You see it spinning off the California coast there. This one has been on the models pretty consistently here for a while now as we're getting closer and closer to it. And as this thing kicks on into this configuration going in toward the 20th and 21st, might see some severe weather with that one as well. Not over the top, maybe slight risk, not looking too bad there, but that's something I'll watch as we go through the weekend. This kicks on out. And then we'll see another cutoff low. Look at this one. This one coming toward the 10 on the end of the model run here. Now this one's a lot more substantial. Of course, this is 348 hours, folks, probably to change, but we'll see if that consistency stays there with that. That's a much bigger system that if that pulls out with that current setup, that would bring in some more severe weather, say heading out toward, I'd probably say the 26th, 27th, somewhere in there toward the end of the month of April. So let's focus on your short-term forecast. We're going to be watching the snows up here across the Northeast. That's our big thing here, especially going into your Saturday. You see that upper level kind of spinning up there toward the north, and then we're going to bring some snows. There it is right there. We'll bring in some snows here across the interior sections. The big cities will be okay, but the interior sections will see some snow. I'll show you those snow totals here in a second. That's for the day on Saturday, and then I'll quickly move on out. Then we got this disturbance here riding very quickly on the jet stream here up toward Montana. That'll be kicking on out. That'll be going into your Sunday. So you see that going into your Sunday, kind of riding in toward the Dakotas. And this will be the one we'll have to watch over in toward Monday. That'll bring that severe weather risk going in toward Monday there across Ohio and Pittsburgh, and Pennsylvania, I should say. All right, so let's go ahead and take this further. We'll look at the European model here. Again, we're going to take this out through the duration here as we kind of watch that next system. Again, you see a little bit of energy here. This is that severe weather potential there. We got that another little cold shot coming down going into your Monday. That is on your 14th and 15th of April. And you see that nice cold shot. Once again, we got the 540 freezing line all the way down here once again. So another cold, more snows into the Northeast. It's like, I'm sure the folks up in New England are going, when is the snow going to end? I'm tired of this. It's been a very, very snowy season. Then we get another shot coming down. Here's another shot. And this one's even more pronounced going in toward the 19th. So you got those two, I got 3 of them. One we got now and 2 more to follow. And again, some more snows across areas of the Northeast once again. Warmer out here toward the west. So at least for the next 204 hours, basically out toward day 8 and 9, we're still looking at this pattern. We're warm in the west and cool in the east. Now, as we go forward, again, we're going to watch that disturbance kick on out. This will be that severe weather risk we'll watch going in toward the 20th, right here across Texas and Oklahoma. Doesn't look that bad. I'd say slight risk the way it's looking right now. But again, this is still 234 hours out, 9, 10 days out. This pulls on out. But one thing we definitely see, notice that 540 freezing line is way back up here now, all right? So we're starting to see things warm up here in the east, all right? That's going to open the door for more active weather and chances for more thunderstorms. So it looks like we see some more thunderstorms here toward the 24th, up here across the higher plains, Nebraska up toward Iowa maybe. So we go a little bit later in the month. And then this energy pulls on up to the northeast. So, and we got that big upper low out here we got to watch as it kicks on out. As we head toward the 27th, again, this is beyond the 15-day outlook. This will change, but again, we're looking for pattern trends. I will say the pattern trend on the last upper low, it's been trending pretty good. We'll see if it'll does well on this one that's a little bit further out. Now let's talk about rainfall. We're not going to see a whole lot of heavy rain here. The only area that's going to see a lot of heavy rain here for the next 7 days, and I'll take this out to 180. As far as the next 7 days, obviously is that heavy rain here across the Mid-Atlantic. But a lot of the country, pretty dry. It's really not bad. The Great Lakes not looking bad. But for the next 7 days, not looking bad. Now, if we take it out from 7 to 15, all the way out to the end of the run, it does pick up some more activity. Obviously, we get a few more of those thunderstorms showing up in here. As we get that pattern change, it looks like we finally start to open up things a little bit, and we see a little more progressive pattern and better chances for rain as we head to deeper into the month of April. Now the snowfall, we're going to talk about that. So here we go. Let me back this up here once again. I'll back this up, get the time framing on this. So Friday's not looking bad. It's really kind of going into tonight and into tomorrow. So it looks like got a little snow there today. And you got a little more going on top of that. So going through the weekend. So we're seeing a couple of pockets here. There's a couple of 5 inches, a couple of 4 inches in there across parts of Massachusetts, southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire, a little bit back over toward the Catskills there of New York, and Pocono Mountains there across Pennsylvania. Maybe see a little snow there as well. So that's what we're seeing. Generally 2 to 4 inches, not bad. If you want to get a last little grasp of winter, that's where you want to go for this upcoming weekend. As far as continental United States is concerned, let's go a little bit closer than that. There we go. And we'll take us out to the end of the 240. Looks like we're starting to wrap up winter weather, folks. Just the Northeast, a little bit here across the Great Lakes, a little across the Intermountain region, but not looking too bad there as far as the short term. This is going out to 144. In fact, let me go and take this out to the, let me take this out all the way to the end of its run, out to the longer run here. So let's go look to the 0Z. The 0Z, I'll take this out a little bit further. So you kind of see it. So Intermountain region stays up there, and of course up here across the Great Lakes. That's about it. We're getting closer and closer to saying goodbye to the winter precipitation, and we'd like to say goodbye to that and say goodbye to old man winter. All right, let's go ahead and finally take a look at the temperature trends. Okay, we've been talking about a pattern change. So where you see the blues and greens, that's where our below normal temperatures are. Reds, obviously, and yellow, oranges, that's kind of your above normal temperatures here. So watch that timestamp there. Again, we got the one shot we currently have. Then we get another shot. This comes in as we go in toward the 15th, 16th. So we got another shot there. Again, you almost can cut the country right in half. It's colder here, warmer out here toward the west. That's going in toward the 15th and 16th of April. Then we got yet another one. This one's even more pronounced here, going toward the 19th. This is taking up a bigger part of the country. Warm here, much colder here, going out toward the 18th and 19th. So that's like 3 shots in a row. Then we start to see things begin to change. After the 20th, we see things begin to change and modify a little bit. So as we go all the way to the end of this run, you notice it looks like we're turning a little bit milder out here, but colder out into the west. So we'll see if this is a forecast trend, because this is long range. But for right now, I'd say over the next 10 days, we're looking at below normal temperatures in the east and warmer weathers out in the west. So let's see what the Climate Prediction Center is showing and see if it lines up with what the European model is showing, at least the latest there. So, yep, looking pretty good. That's what it's showing. So we're going to continue with these, continue. I'll try to say that multiple times. Cold air here across the eastern third, warmer here in the west. This is the 16th through the 20th. And then starts to modify just a little bit below across the New England, but big warm up here in the middle of the country from the 18th to the 24th. Now, with the warmer air, obviously, and we get rid of that trough, we'll see these little impulses where those upper level storms come out. Should increase the rain threat, but for right now, from the 16th to the 20th, it's below normal here, near normal in the middle of the country, and we'll see about this. I'm not too sure if that's going to continue there with below normal across the southeast, but above normal across the northern tier. A lot of the nation is really not bad. It's still below normal out here on the west coast, but not too sure about this one. We'll see how that works out with the update later today. Again, this goes from the 18th to the 24th. And I think we'll see a wetter pattern across the southeast, the way it's beginning to evolve as we head toward the end of your month. So again, we got to worry about this weekend. Little snows across the northeast. We got a little pocket of severe weather we got to watch with a slight risk going into the parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania going into Monday as we start your new work week. And we still got this cold weather pattern. So you folks across the east, I know a lot of folks want to start doing some planning and things like that. May want to delay it just a little bit. Just wait until we get this cold pattern to shake. I think once we get past the 20th, I think we'll be pretty much done with any chance of any more frost and freezes, especially across the deeper south areas. But like we're still expecting frost, for example, here across North Georgia going in toward this upcoming Sunday. So hold off on the planning just yet. This cold pattern is just lingering a little bit longer, but hopefully we'll see things begin to warm up across the nation. All right, that's y'all's update for now. Again, if you appreciate this report, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you learn on future content. And I always appreciate any kind of feedback, or if you have any weather questions, again, please post that down below. All right, that's y'all's update for now. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next update. Until then, you guys have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.